with pride worldwide. This is for the dreamers, rebels and crew, for the fans in the back and the diehards too. Break the chains, let the passion ring. We're calling out hate in the squared off ring. Kicking out at 2, where the love runs deep and the fight stays true. Kicking out at 2, no tribal lines, just respect me and you.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Listen up, wrestling fans! Showing love for your favorites doesn't stop at a t-shirt. If you're heading to a live event, you better be ready for the hard cam. Step up your show day drip with Hard Cam Creations, custom handmade accessories built for the loudest, proudest fans in the building. Whether you're backing a legend or leading your own faction, these pieces make sure you stand out when that camera swings your way. From spectator to certified superfan, it's time to walk to the ring in style. New drops coming soon. Find Hardcam Creations on Etsy and follow at Hardcam Creations on Instagram today.
Kicking out at 2 intern Ace Finley here. And before Michael and Tori hit the ropes and dive into the latest in the world of wrestling, let's tag in one of our show's partners, W Energy. If you're looking to fuel your grind, whether it's late night booking sessions, streaming, or just surviving Monday, W Energy's got your back. No crash, no jitters, just clean focus. Use code KICKINOUT, all one word, at checkout to get 10% off your order. Now let's get back to the show.
Today we are interviewing the amazing Gabby Forza. I reached out a few weeks ago and we started talking and it all went really well. And she was like, "Hey, I have this Thursday." And I said, "Cool, let's do this." So I'm super nervous, so bear with me. I found some facts on Miss Gabby. Started wrestling. Did you start wrestling in 23 or training?
Wrestling.
Okay. Started wrestling first. Was your first match March 19th?
Yep. Nailed
I
it.
was just hoping Cage Match had the right stats.
Yes.
You've been the Creative Pro Women's Champ. You are the, is it BIP? I don't know what this, I've never heard. You were a tag champ with Fair.
Yes, that's Blitzkrieg Pro.
Okay.
Yeah, they're cool.
I don't know what this one is. And then you are the current ETW Coastal Crown Champion. You have been for a couple months now, right?
Yes, I believe I won that tournament for that championship the week of Mania Week. So it was
Nice. Okay.
right. It was the Sunday before I left for Mania Week, and I wrestled 3 matches, won the finals, and then went off in Mania Week and wrestled a bunch of those girls again because it was
Mania Week is crazy.
yeah, it was really crazy.
Also, PWI is 223 on the PWI 500. Had 239 matches so far. But welcome. We appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thank you.
We have
Thanks
lots
for-
of extra questions.
Yes, please. Whatever you want to know, I'm here for it. And thanks for having all my details out there. That's so cool.
Yeah, I actually did research. Michael was shocked. I normally just show up. He's the brand of the show. I just show up and try to be funny.
Love it.
So let's cover some wrestling stuff first. How'd you get started? Like, what got you into it?
Yeah, it all happened pretty quick for me because I did not expect anything. I had no real expectations. I didn't know I would become a wrestler. I just knew I was going to train. I committed to 3 months of training at Creative Pro Wrestling Academy in Hicksville, New York. And that started October 2022. and that
Okay.
was 6 months after I started dating Bear Bronson.
Okay.
So we started dating, but I was already thinking about trying wrestling, and basically I got sidetracked because we started talking at his merch table, and he asked for my phone number, and I was like, "Oh wait, hold on, I don't think I want to be a wrestler. I think I want to date a wrestler." And so we started dating, and then 6 months into dating, I had asked him, but he had no idea the whole time we were dating that I was actually interested in trying wrestling because I never really mentioned it. I just loved going to the shows and like being his number one fan because I was a huge fan of Bear. I thought he was an amazing wrestler. I would bring my friends to shows just to like see him and like cheer for him really loud. He had no idea who I was. So I often make the joke that I've known him way longer than he knew me, which is pretty funny. Sounds like stalkerish a little,
I
but
mean, it
the
just
price of fame.
depends on how you look at it.
Yeah, I was like, price of being famous, right? But I had no idea he was from Creative Pro in New York. I thought he was like talent that got flown in, and I followed his like AEW career and everything. But then I found out we live on the same island. I was like, oh, hold on. But then I just became a huge fan of all the Creative Pro people and started training there. 3 months into training, Brian Myers, the head trainer, he told me I could have my first match, and that would be in March. And I was debuting with a few of the other girls, and yeah, we I was my first debut match was debuting with another wrestler, Nat Castle, Zuleika, and we were like a group of like women that were training to become wrestlers. And now me and Nat are like feuding for the Creative Pro women's belt that didn't even exist before us. So it's been like a lot of history and a lot of cool stuff. But it all started because of Creative Pro, and that was my first indie show I ever went to. And then I got hooked and started going to other indie shows on Long Island, and I would go to like NYWC, Victory Pro Wrestling, and to my knowledge, that was like my very small scope of indie wrestling. And I knew of WWE and I knew of AEW,
Right.
and I loved indie wrestling the most. I was just excited to be an indie wrestler. I was like, oh wow, I get to do this. It's so cool. I love that.
Yeah,
It's
we've
still
been
magical.
saying it. Um, so obviously Bear an influence to wrestle, or was it just a happen to work out that way?
He's an amazing trainer, so I was excited to like learn from him. But really, my biggest influence to become a wrestler was when I saw Chris Statlander wrestle, and that was just on Creative Pro shows back in 2019. And she was wrestling a man. She was wrestling Aaron Rourke when I first, and it stuck out to me because it wasn't just a women's match, it was my first intergender match I'd ever seen. And Aaron Rourke is someone I actually grew up with on Long Island. So I didn't know he'd become a wrestler. So already from the moment he came out, did his entrance, I was locked in. I was like, and then
Right.
she came out and did her entrance. I was like, he's fighting a woman. This is great. And then she kicked his ass. And I was like, oh my God, I love this.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So I was like so excited. That was on my first indie show, which even looking back on like that match rules. And they actually ran it back on a show I got to be on, Beyond Wrestling Shamrock Slam, where I wrestled Willow Nightingale and Rex Lawless with Bear. And it was like a really really big show. I think maybe the biggest crowd I've ever wrestled in front of. It had like a few thousand for
Oh,
like a
okay.
March 2024. It was
Okay.
a really
See,
big show, but
I have
for
another
me, it was like
show
a cool
tomorrow.
start.
Another show I need to watch tomorrow now.
Yes.
I watched that one with you and Slade, and I'm like, oh my god, they're beating the hell out of each other.
Yeah, he definitely,
He
he's a
hits
tough
one.
man, and the day before, I watched him and Bear go at it on a Creative Pro show, and I was like, "Oh, man, he didn't beat him up enough." 'Cause, he had a lot of fight in him still, unfortunately for me.
So wrestling relationships can obviously be intense because of it's a very you're busy. Like you're busy, you're traveling, so on. What do you two do to stay grounded as individuals and as a couple?
Oh, I love that question. Um, I would say the funny part about our relationship is that we did get to be a normal couple for a period of time when he was signed to AEW and I was not training to be a wrestler at all. So we have that as like our foundation, which has helped us a lot, I think, throughout our relationship as we've gotten more serious and more busy with wrestling. And I think at first we just went 100% because he doesn't get sick of wrestling. Like he is nonstop with it. And I think I learned that through becoming a wrestler because he doesn't need a break from it ever. And I'm like, we have to go to the movies or go out to dinner and hey, let's not talk about wrestling. So but it's definitely really important to keep that balance and do things outside of wrestling. We'll go on dates like mini golf. He's not really into rock climbing like I am, but he'll watch me rock climb and bowl and like half participate, but he's just like happy to be where I'm happy. So it's really cool that we still get to do all that. But we go out to dinner a lot. And we live near New York City, so we do go to New York City. But even when we're traveling around, now we do try to make like wrestling trips into like date trips. So we went
Nice.
to Philly when we wrestled in Philly, we did the Muter Museum, and that was really cool. And then when we post stuff like that, people will send like recommendations of like things in the area. So we went to like Shea Steaks and got like ice cream, and it was awesome. So we do a good job of like balancing the two. But honestly, like fans or friends that we make through wrestling do help with that because they're like, oh, if you want to check that out, check this out. You'll probably like this, and it's really nice. Good community, I feel.
Yeah, I saw he was announced. He posted he was going to be here in July, and I was super excited when I saw that.
Yeah,
So
so exciting. He's very like it's the wrestler life. You go to the venue and you go home. But I feel like we've gotten better at like if we have a car, we'll try to like see something, or if we talk to a fan like where should we grab food, and then they'll like tell us the best like local spot or whatever.
if you both come to Tulsa, I got y'all. We got you.
Yes,
We've lived here. I've lived here my whole life, so
I will be there.
you will.
Yes,
Okay, I'm 100% going to this show now.
so excited. I've never been there before. Well,
It's like the beginning
there's
of Happy Gilmore. Is that what you're saying?
yes, it's funny. We love weird mini golf. So we've gone to like monster mini golf where it's like all dark and like green lit and spooky and cool. And we try to find weird stuff to do all the time.
That's fun.
Yeah.
One of the fan questions we got was a friend of ours, Big Mike, wanted to know what your favorite match was so far.
Ooh. I I do like little categories, I guess, because it's like promotion to promotion or um at what point in my career because a lot of matches mean something different to me. But I'd have to say my favorite match I've had that I've like watched back a lot and always love is me versus Megan Bain in 2024. And we wrestled twice. We did that match and then another promotion ran it like the week later. I think people just couldn't get enough of that combo and we didn't get to wrestle a third time yet, but we are going to get to on Friday, June 5th, and that's really soon. So I'm super excited. That's like next week.
Right?
Yes, oh,
And
it's a
then
good one.
I was gonna say follow up to that was another friend, Bobby, wanted to know matches you're looking forward to. Megan
Ah,
Bain, obviously.
yeah,
Any other?
100%. Megan Bain is my next big match, but right after that, I have Jordan Oliver in a singles match at JCW.
Okay.
And I got to wrestle him for the first time with Bear in a tag team match at GCW. And that was for the GCW Tag Team Championships. And that was a really, really good match, but a really intense match. I went away for a month after that and I thought about that match the whole time. I was like in France, I was like, damn, Jordan, let's can't wait to get my hands on him again. and I'm excited to wrestle him again. But I guess in the future, what other stuff am I looking forward to? Jordan Oliver, Megan Bain. I
There
do
was
have Deanna Perrazzo coming up too.
That's awesome. I love Deanna. Love
Yeah,
her.
first time matchup, and I'm really excited about that. So
Okay.
I'm just running through the signed talent on the indies, which is pretty
Hey,
cool.
get him where you
Pretty neat.
Jillian, our friend that made the thing I showed you. I wanted to know how do you deal with Bear watching him in death matches? Do you watch or do you like sit in the back and be like, I don't want to see this?
Uh, it's tough because like I can't look away because I also want to make sure he's okay.
Right.
So I get really, really stressed out about it. Like I think I get more amped up for his matches than he does sometimes because I get so nervous and I'll just be like sweating the whole time. Like it's crazy. But I get super into it. His death match with Slade, that was a very intense death match, but it was his first death match ever, and I knew the whole time he was so happy. Like I'm watching him like going through it, and I'm just like, he looks really like he's loving this. And for where he was at in his career, in his life right there, to know that he was doing something for himself made me really happy. So I wasn't happy to see him in a death match, but I just knew he was doing something for himself. And that made me really happy and proud of him. And from then on, every death match has been really special to him. He made a list of like his dream death match opponents, and he got to wrestle like all of them. And in Japan, I got to do a death match, a few, and I got to put him through it. So it was nice to get him back. Like, yes, this
That's
is the
fantastic.
turmoil. Welcome to it.
I watch those and I'm just like, I don't know how much I can do this. Like it's a lot.
It's
And
tough.
having
It
grown
is
I
tough.
grew up on Mid South Wrestling here in Tulsa, like
Wow.
way back. So seeing those matches is such a different thing. And I'm just like, oh God, I can't.
Yeah,
I don't want to
it's
watch, but I want to
so
watch.
Hmm.
yeah, I totally get that. I totally get because I've watched matches on screen of death matches or clips or whatever, but seeing them live is a huge difference, a total different experience. I get how people are obsessed with it, addicted to it, and then experiencing it myself, I'm like, I get how people love this so much. But for my first ever deathmatch live to be Bear Bronson versus Slade was absolutely vile.
I'm sure it's a lot different when it's someone you care about. Like I remember watching Mick Foley, Cactus Jack back then doing death matches, and that always scared me. And I don't even know the guy. Like,
Yeah,
and
you
I
just
couldn't imagine
love
someone I
them. You're
loved
like,
being in there too. I'm like, oh gosh.
yes. The best way I could describe it is you're watching a horror movie, and your husband is the star, and he's being like not just like he's not running away from the person, he's getting like murdered.
Jason
You're like,
got
I
him.
don't yeah, it's like it's rough, but
The little bit I've seen of Slade, just knowing, I'm just like, oh God, now I have to go find this match first of all. But I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah,
it's
he's rough.
oddly he's rough. He's very violent. He hits harder than anyone I've ever met. Um, and he's just a cold sicko. Like if he smiles, like it's the scariest thing you'll ever see. And he does smile in his matches because he just loves the suffering, and it's crazy. But yeah, I hope I never wrestle him again. Might happen,
When
but
you say him saying he was on a show, and you're like, okay, I'm immediately concerned.
it's like I'm literally sweating right now just from seeing that on my phone. I'm like, we're fine. Everything's fine.
All right, Michael, I know we had some other questions from people that were wrestling related, and then we're going to move on to other stuff.
Hmm.
Cute.
Uh, I gave you all the questions from the fans.
You're
I
killing
didn't
me.
write those down for me.
Oh my goodness.
Hold on. Ba, 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 ba.
I think all we have left are the questions Stampede asked, and there was like 6 of them.
Nice.
Well, there was the Duran Duran question.
Yes. I figured we would get to that later, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Duran,
Okay,
Duran.
let's do the wrestling stuff first. Okay. In Japan, You're in Japan. Who's the first wrestler you're booking a match with?
Ooh. Hmm. I'm so bad with names. Let me think if I can remember. I had a match with Ann Chan as my first opponent in Japan, and that was amazing. Mm, I wrestled my friend Spike that's already in Japan, but I wrestled her in the States. I feel like a lot of matches I would like to have in Japan are like it's just like such a different experience there in Japan that I would wrestle anyone, but
Who needs to sign
even
it up?
like even if I wrestled Willow in Japan, if I wrestled Megan Bayne in Japan, like I feel like it would be a different match than in America. So
Oh, yeah. So that makes sense though. Just you're like, let's go, sign me up. I don't care who it is. Let's go.
yeah, 100%. I do have dream matches, but I can't really. I'm so bad with names. I don't want to like butcher anyone's name.
Fair enough. Hey, if that's tweet it out later, we'll talk about it.
Cool.
Yeah, we do that all the time. We're always leaning on Stampede in the chat to, hey, correct me if I said this wrong. Because
Right.
He's our resident encyclopedia. That's he's our wrestling resident encyclopedia.
That's so
Um,
true.
you've done the intergender matches as the Savage Gnomes, which is a fucking great name, by the way.
Thank you.
Um, who's your dream one-on-one intergender dream match?
Hmm. I have
I'm gonna
not.
say anybody. It doesn't have to be the
Yeah.
independents. Anybody.
Anybody. I have wrestled Speedball Mike Bailey and Veda Scott as a team, but I really want to wrestle Speedball in a
Okay,
singles match. That would be really cool.
I'm here for it. Like Tony Khan, get it done. I'm here for it. Do it on
I
Dynamite.
wrestled.
Get Gabby on national TV. Let's do it on Dynamite.
Yeah, you know what? Why
Tony's
not?
obviously not watching this. Go ahead.
They do it. They do their intergender matches here and there. They started doing more death matches too. I kind of love what they're doing.
Hmm.
But
That that match
Speedball is definitely
Cheetah and Chris was pretty rough. So
yeah. Yeah, Chris is a sicko. I love her. Hmm.
uh, you can pick one song from any genre and era as your entrance music. What's it gonna be?
All right. I've been thinking about changing my music for a while, but I'm always like, oh, when's a good time to do it? Or is this the right vibe for me? Entombed, the band, they have a song called Demon,
Okay.
and it starts with like a guttural skirt, like a not a scream, but like a almost like a grunt.
Okay.
And I love it. I'm like, if I came out to that and then they just sing about demon, and I've been called the garden demon before, I was like, I feel like it kind
Okay.
of
First of all, that nickname is amazing.
garden demon.
Yes.
Thank you.
If you're doing a death match, like if you get in one of those, yeah. If you have to wrestle Slade, that's when you change your music.
There you go.
100%.
That's it. That right there.
1000%. You don't get the Nomi, you get the garden demon.
Yeah. See? Look at that. Building a
Super
We're
character.
persona. There we go.
cooking. We're cooking here, guys.
All right, so we mentioned them, but we've talked some wrestling. Let's move on because I know there were other things you said you wanted to talk about. How did the obsession with gnomes start? I've got to hear this story.
Oh, yes. Well, I've collected them my entire life. Since I was like 12 years old. I've just always loved them. And this is a little unicorn gnome. I have about 500 or so, and they all live in my house. There's no like one room because it's a little overwhelming. But sometimes I'll put them outside, sometimes I'll put them in my room or like reorganize them. Like I did that today a little bit. And there's just so many. There's tons of gnomes. Um, so I always thought it would be really cool as a wrestler to like come out with a different gnome every time instead of having like a one gnome that I always have with me. So that's
Right?
kind of like it's been fun for me to like use my collection in that way where I get to bring a gnome to work kind of thing.
I'm hearing merch opportunities. That's what I'm hearing.
That's what
I
I'm here to
know. I just have it. It's hard to fit because I love them all, and gnomes are all they all come in different forms and different styles. It's hard to just pick one and be like, this is the gnome that I'm going to commit to. It's like, but then what about the other ones? That's not
right?
fair. But the collecting started when I was like 12 years old. I feel like a lot of people start developing issues around that age, or at least I did a lot, like identity, you know, being treated different, things like that. And my parents got divorced. I had like a lot of things going on where I developed like a lot of self-esteem issues. I think a lot of mental health issues formed around that time for me. And I was just not quite ready to end it all, but close to that. And I would go on walks, like nature walks all the time. And I would literally like look at the trees, like look at the sky and be like, I just need something to a sign that I should stay. And then I saw a gnome in the bushes and I was like, you're coming home with me. And then from then on, I just, anytime I saw a gnome, I was like, I'm meant to be here. So that's my little story with that. And then as I got older and became more obsessed with them, it kind of like got out as like, it wasn't like a secret anymore. And people would give me gnomes all the time. So my dad has like a gnome tattoo for me and things like that. So it's really cute.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are big mental health people, so I will say we're glad you're still here.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
It's fun
All
that
right.
that started with a little light gnome burglary. That's a great way to start
Yeah.
it.
Like you're mine now. It's like, wait a minute.
I
That
was
was
Burgle.
like, where
someone
the hell did
else's.
my gnome go?
Somebody went out and went,
Where's
I'm so
Jerry?
hey.
so true.
All right.
That's
So
okay.
we talked about Bear a little bit. So you told me you were like I was obsessed with him before I ever talked to him.
Yes.
How'd this start?
Well, Bear was like the only like big man on the show,
Okay.
and every Creator Pro show that he wasn't on every Creator Pro show because he's a busy man on AEW and stuff. But from 2019 onward, I would like get super excited to see him. He was the first like matches I like searched into Google to like watch. I was like, where do I watch Bear Bronson AEW? Like, I was like, I found him on like AEW Dark. I was like, he went on like a singles run. I was like, ooh, this is so cool because I noticed his tag team and Bear Country is really cool and all that sort they were or whatever. But I just got like super into Bear Bronson and I feel like he was like super under the radar. Like I thought he was the greatest wrestler I'd ever seen, and I know there's a lot of big man wrestlers out there, but he was like so athletic and like deceptively charming and things like that. He used to be a lot more subtle, but I like always noticed it in a big way, probably because I had a huge crush on him. But um, then the first time we ever spoke, I was like, he's very charming, and but yeah, I love big bodies in wrestling. I've always loved big athletes. I've always loved being a big athlete or a big personality, even in life. And just on every sports team ever. So that's kind of like how I got so into Bear Bronson. And then I feel like ever since we met, I gave him a lot of confidence to like embrace more of that of himself because I was like, that's what drew me into you. And I feel like he needed someone like that in his life. And it's all we've helped each other a lot in that way. So it's really cool.
That's
Yeah, we talked about a little bit before the show that I was on the heels call that Pride. He had just come out.
It blew up.
Yeah, it did, and I was like, "This is so fucking cool!" Like I was so excited to see it and see all the support for it because it's still to a lot of people a stigma thing, and he
Yes.
embraced it and was just like, "This is who I am," and I'm like, "This is so." I kind of fell in love with him at that point. I'm like, "I love this guy. I can't wait to see what he does."
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah,
So
it became like a double meaning thing where it's like, oh, he's a bear. It's
yeah.
like, yeah. But also, this is just who he is. He's just a big bear. So it's very sweet. Him coming out was like such a I've known since the beginning, obviously, when we started dating. And that was like a big, he didn't really talk about it with anyone, but it wasn't like a secret so
yeah,
much. It's just like once in wrestling, it's like anything you add, it becomes a part of your character. So it's like a big deal. And then luckily, like thankfully AEW at the time was like embracing it and, included in part of Pride Month. News like stations were covering it, Outsports covered it. It was so cool.
yeah,
But ever since then, it's been like amazing to see the people that have reached out to him, and you know, we share everything to ourselves, obviously. So um there have been a lot of male wrestlers that reach out and say, like, I don't feel like I have the support to do that, so it just means a lot. It makes me happy to see that you are able to do that, and the support you're getting, it like feels like it feels like they're part of it. So it's very special, and it's been, I'm very lucky to be part of that journey, but it's also led to like so much other growth for him. So it's just like, and that's still who he is. So to be like a deathmatch wrestler and still like a bisexual man, like it's it's nice to see that we are all so much more than the one file cabinet you might be put in.
Yeah.
or we're so much more than that.
As a trans woman in Oklahoma, yes, that.
Yeah, it's tough.
So
People wanna
no,
label you and say you can't be this and that, but it's like, "Yes, I can,
Well, and
because I
I
am."
I'm
saw
sure it's
I
hard as a
saw the
wrestler
cheat.
too, because like it, you know, we've seen it in the past where like someone will say something about themselves and that becomes their character. That's what the company wants to push, and it's like, no, that's a facet of that person, a part of that person, not everything. You don't have to push everything on it.
Yeah, it's so interesting, and that's just, like, the most simple and best way you could put it, but it's really interesting to be part of and see some people get kind of forced into something that is a little unnatural for them, but thankfully, something Bear always says, we are in control of our own bodies, and that carries into our personalities and our characters. And as long as you're a good person, then everything should work out.
He's killing it. I'm loving watching his indies run. Like I'm just you both have been just fantastic. I'm just loving everything I'm seeing. And I've been going back and watching different matches from both of you.
That's
And
so sweet.
I'm like, this is fucking great. These guys
That
are
means,
awesome.
thank you. That means so much.
I know Michael had a couple questions.
I do have something. So the powerlifting is something I was really interested in because uh, people that watch the show, and obviously Tori knows, like I had to have knee surgery about 3 years ago. I decided to Ric Flair knee drop some concrete, the concrete one. Um, so uh, natural working out kind of went aside for me, and so I thought about doing like powerlifting and stuff like that because I still have the frame, but I just don't have the cardio type of thing for it anymore. So I was very interested, like, how'd you get into powerlifting, and um, how do you incorporate that like in your wrestling style?
That's a great question. So for me, I've always been interested in powerlifting or seeing how strong I could become. And I wasn't sure if that meant I wanted to get like really big, like really muscular, if I wanted to be more of like a bodybuilder or like more of like a power lifter. And I kind of found myself somewhere in the middle where I care about like building myself up to feel really good about myself, but also being really strong in the gym and in life. So my first ever powerlifting meet, I just wanted to see what I could do. And I was like, what does it mean to like lift a 1 rep max? And at least there's spotters at this event, so I'll find out. And then I signed up and I was like, I'm doing a powerlifting meet. And I read the rule book and I was like, oh my God, there's so many rules. And I was literally like, I signed up pretty close to me. It was like 11 weeks out. And I was like, I think I was 20 at the time. And I was like, oh my God, I have to learn their form. Because I didn't know I wasn't squatting to depth. I was like, there's like a diagram, and I was like, oh, that's way deeper than I squat. So I had to like reteach myself. And the bench press, you have to pause it and hold it till they tell you to press
Push the
it. So
button.
that was like, oh my God, so hard. So my first meet, I was like, I thought I was gonna lift all these like crazy numbers. Instead, I had to like relearn a few things so I could like lift close to what I wanted to, what I thought I was lifting at the meet. So that was like a very big eye opener for me. And over the years, I got like more into the powerlifting community in New York, and I was doing tackle football too. So I was balancing playing a football with powerlifting. So it was a lot on my body already, but I was like, I'm young, I'll figure it out. And it was really hard to do both because squatting and deadlifting and bench pressing with a barbell is very different than the things you do in football. So I kind of have that going for me where I've already been through that struggle where you can do those lifts and really heavy, but you also need to train like an athlete and move in different planes of movement. Like you have to go lateral sometimes, you have to go over your head sometimes. Um, when I did an interview with Busted Open, Mark Henry thought I was a weightlifter, which is another thing. It's like Olympic weightlifting is when you throw a weight over your head while you're dropping into a lunge. And I'm like, that is not what I do. So it's like cool to see there's so many different like facets of lifting. There's bodybuilding, there's weightlifting, there's powerlifting, but powerlifting's always been what I'm very good at. So that's what I have going for me. I've only done 2 meets ever. And I just try to stay really strong all year long throughout like all the seasons of like the summers. I feel like I don't get to the gym as much. In the winters I'm in the gym a lot, so it just turns into a natural like maintenance phase versus a bulking phase. And you just eat more food throughout the holidays, so I get stronger in the winter because I'm lifting more weights because there's nothing else to do. So it's just like it just kind of became a big part of my life on accident, just like through the natural. I didn't really force it personally, but I just love learning about lifting and I love getting as strong as possible and I love helping other people with that stuff. And they say it's empowering or inspiring to see how strong I am because it's like a woman lifting weights is still not, you know, it's still not the most common thing, I guess, but I don't really see myself as a gender. It's like doesn't it's not like part of my mind. I'm like, yes, I'm strong as a woman, but like as a person, how I'm so strong and this, so that's kind of what I care about. And I love helping other people with that stuff with everyone should squat, everyone should bench press, everyone should deadlift. That's going to look different for everyone, and I don't think you should use a barbell like 12 months out of the year because there's so many other ways to train those movements to get stronger. And like a knee injury, hopefully not both knees. You would want like both knees to be able to support your weight, and then you go to like double leg squatting, which I think I've gone through a bunch of times because I've been through so many injuries and big car accident where I broke both my legs and tons of stuff. But you can always come back. You can always come back and always get stronger. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna go back to the linebacker thing. Were in this. I apparently missed this somewhere. You were in a car wreck and broke both legs.
Yeah, I couldn't walk for a year because I had to get a few surgeries. And that was 2020. So it was like weird to be in the hospital by myself for that like a long time, but also
COVID.
yeah, no one could see me, but also like in my mind I was like, I guess this is a good year for this to happen because no one was seeing each other anyway. So like a year went by and everyone saw me normal again. I was like, no one even knows what I went through. But like we all went through a lot that year. I was just mine was different trauma than other people.
Okay, so back to football. You said you told me you were a linebacker.
Yes,
Was it
I was a linebacker. I think it
was
was
it a women's league? Was it a?
yeah.
That's amazing.
I have so many gnomes. In that little football. Anyway.
So was it a women's league? Was it a?
Yes.
Okay.
It was a pro women's tackle football league. That was my passion from like 9 years old. I was the only girl on like a boys football team for like years and years until like high school. And then I waited to become 18 years old and try out for the pro league. And then I did, and I made it. I became an All American linebacker for like 7 years in a row. And I went through injuries with football. Like I tore my ACL in 2018. That was terrible. Sprained my MCL. Broken both hands. Um, Tore up my shoulders. But I loved being a linebacker and I wanted to be the best in the world. So I had the goal to become an Olympic gold medalist because there was a Team USA. And I made the alternate roster in 2017, and then I did not make it after the next tryout was supposed to be 2020. That got postponed till after I healed from my legs being broken, and I went to the tryout the moment I got cleared. And unfortunately, I didn't make the team, but I tried. So I tried out for Team USA after breaking both my legs. So I didn't make it, but I can say that at least.
I'm gonna take things I didn't expect to hear tonight. I tried out for Team USA after breaking both my legs.
Yeah,
Okay.
random.
I hurt getting out of bed in the morning. I
Right?
I hurt too, don't worry.
Okay, so speaking of broken bones, I saw something. I think you said something about you. I don't remember where I saw it, but broken noses.
Oh, yeah, I'm
How many times
collecting.
have you broken your nose?
I've broken my nose 8 times.
All wrestling?
Not all wrestling. I've actually broken my nose, I think 3 times before wrestling,
Okay.
and then wrestling, training, I've broken my nose many times, and then in matches as well. So we're up to 8. I will
Okay.
not get it fixed, but I need to get it fixed someday because I can't breathe out of my nose that well anymore. Lost that privilege.
Probably, yeah, you probably ought to get that fixed.
I know.
Breathing's, especially for what you do, it's a little
Yeah,
necessary.
Yeah, I know. I was like, let me just see if I can just get in better shape. Maybe I won't need it.
You know.
You
uh,
know, it's good.
Oh my goodness.
I
Okay,
know.
so another question from Stampede was they are making a Gabby Forza biopic. Who plays you?
Ooh. Oh my gosh. Hmm.
I think that was a question. I
It's
may
a
have
tough one.
phrased that wrong. Let me see.
Who would play me? Who's short?
Yes.
no, you're right.
No, yeah. I had to check. I want to make sure I read the question right.
Yeah. Who's short? Who's like me? Oh my gosh. Can I say Danny Luna?
Okay.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, I'm here for that.
I love her.
I'm here for that.
So cool.
All right, Michael, what else we got?
Well, real quick, I want to interject in our chat here. Big Mike had another question for you, which I think is something I'm kind of interested in too, because we've seen shows like Unreal, and we've seen shows where people are training to become wrestlers. He wants to know what's the biggest difference between training for football and training for wrestling.
Great question. Um, it's funny how different and similar it is because in wrestling, it's like longer durations of intense movement, exercise, and a lot of the collision is with the mat and the ropes and sometimes the other body, not all the time. Like in a 12-minute match, let's say, you aren't hitting that other person with your body that much. I do personally because that's like my greatest strength from a football background. But most of the time, it's like moving around each other and then you get thrown against the mat, you get thrown against the floor, the ropes. So it's a lot of like contact, but the collision is very different. So thankfully, I love the physical aspect of football. I love the collision part of football, and that was what attracted me to the wrestling. It wasn't so much the fighting and the violence, but I was like, oh, I like that when they hit each other. I like this when their bodies collide and smack together and make that sound. And so for me, it was like learning how to wrestle like other people and not just wrestle how I want to wrestle. And it is just with football, everything's forward. And with wrestling, your back takes so much of a beating. I've always had a very strong back and been very lucky with that, but wrestling has definitely made me more aware of why every wrestler has a bad back. And I'm
Can
like, oh, this
imagine.
sucks. Yeah, but with football, everything was so forward and like shoulders are constantly hitting each other and like you're hitting each other with your hands. And in wrestling, it's just different movements, different contacts. So even though like a lot of my football training helped me with wrestling and getting up quickly, because you like if you get on the floor, you're gonna get stepped on or pinned in wrestling. But in football, you just get off the ground quick because you don't want to get hurt because people will fall on you or push you and you get hurt. So it's very similar, but it's also very different.
Okay, so one of the things you mentioned to us was your core friend group is you, a mortician, and a therapist, which, to be honest, sounds like the start of a Netflix show. How did this trio come together?
Oh, the gym.
Okay. Okay.
Pretty funny, yeah. I became best friends with my mortician friend. Her name is Vanessa, to keep it easy to follow. Vanessa, I trained in the gym. She is a mortician, she's a funeral director, and she's the only woman in her funeral home, but it's a very male dominated field. And she is like very strong and like a major badass for not just that, but like you have to pick people up all the time too in a different way, obviously. And so I taught her how to deadlift and get strong, and that has been very helpful for her career. And then my friend that is a therapist, you know, she's always been an athlete, but as an adult, you have to figure out how to deal with your mental health in a positive way. And she's in that field because she, prioritizes her own mental health and wellness and things like that. So I trained with her too, and I taught her how to lift and be healthy. And now she does powerlifting and she's really strong too. And we all lift together, and then we all help each other with all of our crazy lives and issues and work problems, which I love helping them. They're so cool, and they're like there for everyone else, and then they're there for me, and I try to be there for them because it's tough jobs. We all got pretty tough jobs, but they think I'm cool and I think they're cool, so we all kind of like balance each other out. It's like what a badass group of ladies.
We read that and we're talking about it. We're like, wait, what?
I love, yeah,
Three different,
it's
very
cool
different
jobs.
avenues.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love them. They're so cool, and she's, as a certified mortician and funeral director, I've been able to help her at work a few times, and I won't get into the details of that, but it's very cool. And they're both huge wrestling fans. So ever since we would go to wrestling shows like back before I ever thought about wrestling. Now they come to my shows, and funny is that my friend that's the mortician, her like her best costume is being a pallbearer, where she brings the urn from work and dresses up, and it's really good.
That's
She's
so good.
she has a weightlifting belt that is Taker on the back. It's just all the bits. It's so good.
That's that's
She's the
right.
real Undertaker.
All right. Have we got any other questions in the chat, Michael?
One came through. Who's giving you the best advice in wrestling? That comes from Bobby.
Ooh, it's a great question. Best advice in wrestling. I'll give it up to Bear and then another person, but Bear for always saying that you need to be true to yourself, and if you're not having fun, it's not worth it. So I feel like he just always keeps me focused on why I do this and the power of like autonomy, because he's always like, you're in control of your body. So I never have to do something I don't want to do. And he's just helped me become like a very confident person in wrestling, and always kind of represent myself how I want to be seen and perceived as. And I think that's helped me, like, without talking so much, I feel like people understand my message without me having to spell it out for people very much, which is cool. And then my second person is Richard Holiday, because
Okay.
he said his whole thing is to you are exactly where you're meant to be, because I think he's just been around. They've been around wrestling so long to see people not get signed, and they're on the indies and they're on the independent wrestling scene forever, and maybe that's not where people want to be forever. They're hoping to work towards their goals of being on TV and stuff like that, but there's so much growth that can happen where we are right now, and if you are always wishing you're somewhere else, you're never going to be where you want to be.
Full advice.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Tori, before you go on to another thing, I have to shout out my kid. My middle kid's in the chat right now, and they just said not a question, but I love Gabby's hair.
Thank you. That's
So
so
that's
sweet.
from Kai, my kid.
I love her
So
too.
we've kind of jumped around all over with everything. We're always big fans of pro wrestling as a buffet. There's a little bit of everything on the table,
Cool.
from classic to chaos, comfort food to stuff you probably shouldn't go back for twice. So we'll end it with this. What are three things from the wrestling buffet on your plate right now? What are three things you're loving in wrestling? Any part of it. What are three things you're just loving in wrestling?
I love that. Women's wrestling, number one. There's so much positive women's wrestling right now. I wasn't a wrestler more than 3 or 4 years ago, so I didn't really know that wrestling used to be a pretty toxic place, and women weren't always nice to each other, and it wasn't always about women's empowerment and community and being there for each other. So I feel like I came into wrestling at the perfect time because I have not dealt with any of that, and I'm a very big advocate for women being there for each other in whatever ways, because there's so many different type of women wrestlers, and we all kind of tell our own stories and represent ourselves how we want to be represented, because in the independent wrestling scene no one's telling you what to do, which is nice. So I would say women's wrestling. um I guess the next thing would be limitless wrestling for me. It's been where I've had so many opportunities to grow and become more, and big matches that I may have not been ready for or felt ready for, but the people there believe in me so much up in Maine. And I've had so many of my best matches just because I had like, maybe I did have doubts in my mind, but the moment like my music hits and I'm at the curtain, I just feel so much love, and I'm like, whatever happens, I'm gonna give this my all, and this match will be the best I could possibly give it. So that's led to a lot of matches I'm really proud of. And I can't say every wrestling environment is like that, even though wrestling is awesome and a very magical place all the time. It's like Limitless Wrestling's been the best for me, and then I take that with me to other places. So that's my two. And then three, third best thing, I'm gonna say very specific, not just Game Changer Wrestling, but GCW for Bear, because Bear has, it's been everything I just said about Limitless Wrestling, Bear and GCW. He's been afforded the opportunities to grow and rebrand himself and become everything he's ever wanted to be as a wrestler. And I've seen it skyrocket his confidence. And that, just as his partner in wrestling and life, that makes me very happy and very proud of him. And he's also my trainer. So it's really cool to see that, for my trainer that teaches me wrestling still all the time, I get to see him grow and evolve, even though he's been doing this for a while. And it's really cool. I'm very proud of him.
I love that.
Wonderful.
That's fantastic. Okay, so before we wrap it up, just want to say thank you again. Like,
Thank you.
I wasn't sure how it would go when I asked, and I'm so glad you said yes. I've been so looking forward to this. Um, Tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
My social media is the same everywhere. It's at the_Nomi, GNOMIE. And that is a nickname I gave myself. And thankfully, other people started calling me it.
We do appreciate your time and sharing everything with us. For everybody watching, go support Gabby. Go support independent wrestling. Um, Follow her journey. I know I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. And we do just, again, I appreciate you so much.
Very
Thank
much
you.
glad to have you on.
I had the best time. This is my favorite interview I've ever done.
I'm gonna have that etched on my tombstone.
Right?
Thank you.
All right, Michael, you want to wrap us up?
I sure will. All right. Make sure that you tap in, support, and keep an eye out, obviously, for this wonderful lady here. For Bear, who's just mentioned quite a few times, who's killing it. I just got to watch his match where he won the title. I was super jacked for that. And we talked about it on our last episode. Best booking I've seen in a while now of how they ended that match. If you haven't seen it, go watch it because it's a lot of fun. But with that, we are officially kicking out. So in the meantime and in between time, we will catch you on the next one. Thanks, everybody.
Here's the cover. Can he do it? Kick out at 2.
We stand together with pride worldwide.